What's up, everybody? Jimmy and Chris here from Vortex Edge, and today we're going to keep talking about everyone's favorite firearm, the pistol. And while we have a lot of drills out there that we know we can do with dry fire, especially these days when ammo is in short supply, very expensive, you might have a stash you're trying not to eat away at super rapidly, we do know that ultimately it all comes down eventually to having to send some real live rounds downrange. And instead of just going and burning a few rounds sort of aimlessly, you might be aiming, but really with no point or intention behind it, Chris has a drill that he's going to go into here in a bit that's actually not going to use a whole lot of ammunition, but you're going to get a whole lot of work out of it and up your game big time. So Chris, though, I mean, let's talk a little bit about, you love the dry fire thing. You know, you're doing it every day pretty much. It's part of your training routine. But ultimately, what is it? I mean, it's probably fairly self-explanatory for a lot of people, but what is it that just makes the actual live fire shooting so much more important and just completing the whole step?
I like to think of it as kind of testing two separate things, right? In dry fire, I'm working on my mechanics. I'm working on running the dot from target to target. And ultimately, my goal in dry fire is just to push myself and see how much sooner, how much quicker I can do things. And live fire is really there to confirm what I've done in dry fire and have more available to me so that maybe I'm using 30% of the speed, let's say. And of course, that's all measured on a shot timer. I'm big on using these things. And I document everything I do in dry fire. And then I test it in live fire. Some things that are pretty hard to do in dry fire are, test your recoil management, of course, and also your accuracy, which is one of the reasons you really have to be honest with yourself. What are my sights doing on target? And you just have to really have that accountability with yourself when you dry fire.
Absolutely. Now, in today's day and age, when it seems like 9mm is about $1 a pop, you're calling this the old $30 drill, is that right?
That's
so we're
right.
going to shoot 30 rounds. And how do you have the drills set up before we actually show you doing it? And why are you doing each one of the drills? Why have you incorporated them into this drill? There's got to be a lot of purpose behind it when you're trying to just shoot minimal rounds here, right?
Right. So my thinking was, in my dry fire, I have a couple different kind of programs that I follow, so to speak. I have a set of 12 drills that I follow that I got from Steve Anderson that really helped me in the competing world. But if I want to do something that's going to help me both in competition and in the everyday kind of realm, I run this $30 drill, so to speak, in dry, right? The beauty of shooting it live is you can actually, while you're on the range, prepare yourself before each iteration by doing a couple reps dry, so you're maximizing your live fire session.
All right, yeah, a little hybrid approach.
Right, exactly. So you're going to see that a lot of these things are low round count, but you can maximize that by throwing 10 to 15 reps of dry fire on the front end of each iteration.
Cool.
Yep.
Right on. All right, so is there any special equipment that you have here? I mean, you got your belt, you got your gun in a holster. How many mags are you using? Is it just one?
You could run this just one mag. Again, it's not intended to be super equipment or round intensive. The way I do, I just loaded my magazines. I have one mag of 4, one mag of 5. I believe I have a mag of 6 and a mag of 15.
Okay.
All that does is, again, I'm kind of programming reloads or mag exchanges into the drill. And it's just another way to get reps for me personally. You can absolutely load your mags to whatever capacity you have and just run it as one continuous drill as well.
Got it. And you got your buzzer.
I do, and I have my buzzer.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to see this in action right now. You've got, is that 2 targets for this drill? All
yeah,
right.
so 2 targets. And just to briefly cover what it is that we're actually going to shoot, we're going to start by doing the draw. Everyone, I mean, it's the light getter on Instagram, but it's something that I don't dedicate a whole lot of live fire in, right? I do want to do it dry. I want to push myself to the limit of my human function. And for me, it's kind of right there at like 0.8, 0.9 of a second. So you're going to do 4 reps. And the next thing we're going to work on after that is reloads. I like to train reloads one of 2 ways. If I'm doing it live, just the way I'm getting ready to do it right now, I'll lock my slide to the rear so that all I have to do is insert the refresh mag, send my bolt forward, and fire that additional round. Mm-hmm. So I don't expend the ammo in shooting around, locking my slide to the rear, and doing all that. Now, certainly you can introduce it like an empty mag, or you can fire that round inducing the slide stop, but then that would make this the $35, $36 drill. So,
Got it.
yeah.
It's not as catchy. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Exactly, right. After that, we do a quick transition drill. As you'll see here, we have 2 targets posted. It's just a method for testing how I'm seeing my dot or my sights on target, right? All that is shooting 1 round on 1 target, then running my eyes over, sliding my sights, firing an additional shot, and then ending back on target 1, essentially. So then you'll do that 3 times. And then after that, we're gonna back up to the 15-yard line, and I like to end every dry fire session, every live fire session with just some element of testing my accuracy, right? In training, you want to push yourself. You want to see how much sooner, how quick you can do things, but you always, in my opinion, you want to end up and again, just audit where you're shooting and where you're hitting ultimately.
Yeah, I'd say probably if you finish this drill and every shot just drilled all through the same hole, you're about as good as you're ever going to get if you never push yourself further than that. So.
Exactly, yeah. I'm looking for that controlled shotgun pattern, so to speak, and I can probably Alpha Charlie myself do this thing pretty good. So.
All right.
Yeah.
We ready to shoot?
I am. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, guys. Just like we just finished talking about, the first iteration of this $30 drill will be just 4 draws. Again, I've already done my dry fire. I've established that I can probably keep things with below a second before things start getting really squirrely with my sight picture. So I'll demo that now. Again, my first mag is going to be that magazine of 4. And I'll go on the buzzer as such. That was a 118. 125. 113. And again, the reason that I like to stagger my magazines the way I do and fill them the way I do is just because of course, I'm getting that free kind of repetition there with a slide stop reload. All right, so for this next iteration is kind of the reload portion of this $30 drill. Again, I like starting from the slide stop. Now, if you've just installed a brand new magazine release or have issues ejecting that magazine consistently, I would insert an empty mag or go ahead and introduce a round to the chamber. But again, that's just gonna make this a $35, $36 drill. And so what that looks like for me is in dry fire, I like to do something called a Burkett reload, to where I'm just coming here and I'm going to this part right here, and I dry fire that pretty religiously actually. But in any case, this is what this looks like here. And again, you can do this from slide stop or slide lock. For my competitors out there, you can do this slide forward and it just becomes a mag exchange drill at that point. I'll do it both ways here. All right, so my first lap there at slide stop was 172. I like to be sub 2 seconds, so that's pretty consistent for me. So one more time, I know I reloaded and I did make my handgun safe. Now I'm going to conduct the rest of the drill from slide stop. All right, 163, so a little bit of improvement on my last lap. Once more. All right, so 161, so consistently dropping my times there. All right, so 2 more reps here. All right, and guys, just again, one of the main focuses I worry about on my reloads is where I'm indexing that mag well and preparing for inserting that reload magazine. One thing that I really try to be cognizant of is not having any unnecessary movements, any inefficiencies, and that's of course why recording yourself is so great. All right, so let's wrap this reload part of the drill up with one more repetition. All right, so we've done draw and we've done reload. The next iteration of the $30 drill is I like to test my ability to run my eyes. Now what I mean by that is just how I'm seeing and sliding the dot from target to target. As you can see down here, we have 2 targets. And all I'm gonna do is, I know a lot of people like to throw up 3 targets, but maybe you're at an indoor range. You can do this very easily by printing off 2 small targets and just having them set at, say, 3 yards. But just having small targets kind of posted on a smaller piece of paper or something like that forces you to really focus on what that dot's doing. Here I'm at 7 yards. I've got 2 targets with, I don't know, 2 to 3 yards in between each. And I am just gonna focus on seeing my dot lift and then sliding it over to the next target and repeating that process back to target 1. All right, and this is what that looks like. Press check, save lives, guys. All right. All right, total time of 2:21. Now, the beauty of the shot timer is that you can start to measure your splits between the targets and how long it took you to transition from one target to the next. So on that run, first shot was in 1:40, and my transition splits were 0.3, 0.35. All right, we'll go ahead and run that one more time. All right, now go ahead, prepare for the next lap. All right, guys, the last iteration of the $30 drill is an audit, so to speak, of your accuracy. We've done a lot of mechanical movements up to this point, but I want to be honest with myself, and I want to see where I'm hitting. So here at 15 yards, I have a USPSA style target. I'm going to be aiming for the head, and this will be 5 rounds freestyle or both hands on the gun, 5 hands strong hand only, and then 5 rounds weak hand only. All right, I'll go ahead and holster there. And then again, the next thing I'll do is strong hand only. All right, and of course, I'll end with weak hand only, 5 rounds. All right, I'm going to go ahead and unload, show clear, hammer forward. Let's go check it out.
Okay, we're down here at the targets with Chris, and Chris, it looked like you got really good practice out of that, and actually, it looked like you were having more fun overall in the whole drill than you would if you just went and just kind of mindlessly sent some rounds down range. And I gotta say that even though you got some hits right in here in this A zone, right on that A, and even though you got something like this from 15 yards, actually I even think that one might have been with your weak hand.
Yep.
My favorite thing about this drill is that one right there.
Yep. I actually was pretty happy when I shot that guy because I called it, right? That was my 3rd shot of my last iteration of target transitions, and I called it exactly. I knew exactly when it happened, and that's, for me, is a good feeling because calling shots is something I really work on and something I hold dear.
And it means that you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, and so therefore you are getting better. You're finding weaknesses or little inconsistencies in your game that you can improve on, instead of just hitting this all the time and thinking that you're as good as you're ever gonna get.
Right, absolutely. Yep.
So there you have it though, guys. And again, this drill was designed to get a ton of work in and not be wasting, for lack of a better term, a bunch of ammo. And so if you like this video and this drill, definitely like it below, and also comment. We'd love to see some comments from you guys if you're trying this drill out, or if you have other little ideas that you like to do at your range with minimal round counts. Also subscribe to us here on YouTube, and check out the Vortex Edge website so you can find some classes that you can take with guys like Chris here, one of our instructors, and sign up. Thanks everybody.